What's good, family? Welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be going over some photos that I took for my first year of photography. All the photos that we're going to be showing here are going to be shot on the Canon T6i with the Sigma 30mm 1.4 art lens. And we'll talk about the setup more at the end of the video and just how powerful it is. So this first one was actually on my 21st birthday. This is actually in Malibu, the lagoon that's in the Malibu beach. The particular model we had was M. Obviously the sunset was just really nice that day, and thankfully M is just one of those people that has really good balance, so we just asked her if she could stand on one foot and kind of like tap her toe on the water. But yeah, this was probably one of my favorite images from my first year of photography. The second one was on the Golden Gate Bridge, and at this point in my photography career I was just kind of asking people around if they wanted to take pictures with me. Because when you're building your portfolio, it's really important to reach out to people that are trying to also build their own portfolio. On this particular shoot, I probably shot on the Golden Gate Bridge for about an hour. I could probably make a video on this whole entire shoot, to be honest, because I loved all the images from it. But this one in particular really stood out to me just because of how she's framed inside the arch, and just the pose is great. It was really windy as well, and this was just one of my favorites from that particular shoot. This one was shot in downtown LA. I think it was Chipotle in downtown LA. And I just had my friend Nate here sit inside the Chipotle. I wanted to get a nice reflection with the portrait that we were taking, just to add some foreground element to it as well. As you can see, and I got the photo just as she's in the center of the window, right on my subject's chest. So it almost gives this feel of multiple subjects within one photo. And I think I captioned that something really cringy, like pick your own subject, I don't know. But yeah, I just really love this because of the different elements in the picture. This photo was shot in Santa Monica with my friend Ruben here. The purpose of this image was to kind of just frame Ruben as if he was trying to block the sun out from his eyes. We stumbled upon this scene where if I placed him in front of it, the background would just kind of add to the whole effect of it. I really don't know what they're called. Again, I'm sorry if I come here uninformed, but yeah, I like this photo just because of the different elements there are in the background, foreground, things like that. So we're going to switch things up a bit here. I have taken a lot of photos at concerts. That was something that, back when concerts were going on, I really enjoyed doing. One of the first concerts I ever shot was the Broke LA Festival, and this photo here was probably one of my favorites from that entire shoot. At this point in my career, I was still experimenting with, how I wanted to edit and things like that. So obviously the colors in this are super saturated, which I'm not a really big fan of now. But I love the way that this is framed just because of the light coming from the background. It really does help illuminate the artist. And it also helps that there is light hitting the front of his face, otherwise it would just be a silhouette. With those different light elements, I ended up loving the way this came out. And I actually sent this photo to the artist, and he ended up using it for promo work. So that's just one thing that you can do. Always send your photos to people you work with, because they will help promote you as well if you're serving them in that way. Alright, this is probably one of my favorite portraits I've ever taken. It's my friend Ian. I'll drop his link below. He makes music. Go listen to it. Point in the year is obviously spring because of all the flowers that were coming out. I think this was shot in Irvine. But yeah, I just wanted it to seem like there's just this never-ending hall of flowers. Put Ian in the center, have some shadows on his face and on his body as well. And it ended up coming out really nice. The colors in this are great. Obviously you can see like the flowers are in complete bloom. Alright, so this photo was shot in San Francisco in the Chinatown area. How I wanted to frame this photo was to use the buildings as a backdrop for Danny. And this particular square of Chinatown is super easy to find buildings to be backdrops because just how vast they are. The bases of them are pretty close to where we were. And so this one was shot at an outlook point over in Marin. As you can see, the Golden Gate Bridge is in the background. I just really loved this photo because of her shoes popping out. That was something that always stood out to me in this photo. And obviously you have the background element of the Golden Gate Bridge, Everything just seems super clean in this picture. So this photo is probably one of my favorites that I've ever taken, regardless of the camera or gear that I had. But as you can see in the background, there is the LA skyline, and in the foreground is my friend Travis. This is the guy that pretty much introduced me to photography. The vastness of this entire scene just makes this photo one of my favorites. And obviously it's kind of strange to see someone sitting on a chair in the middle of the street. We just happened to find that chair on the sidewalk. But when you're starting out, I would encourage you to try different things, because you never know what's going to work, and obviously you will find out what doesn't work. And in this picture, putting Travis on the chair really worked. So this next photo is shot in Santa Monica. I'm sure if you've been there, you probably could tell just by looking at the image because of the Ferris wheel in the background. Now, obviously the one thing about this image that's different about all the other ones is the fact that I asked the subject to put their hand in front of the lens. And this is honestly something that I just felt inspired to do while shooting. It wasn't something that I had the idea of doing prior. And here's the thing, not everything's gonna work when you try to do it. When you're starting, like I've said before, you have to keep pushing those boundaries, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. You know, and this picture that really came out well because of the centeredness of her eye being covered by her hand, and then you have the background element just pulling everything together. Alright, this next photo was on a rooftop in LA, super cliche, and that all rhymed. That's so weird, that was not intended. But this is my favorite image that I've ever taken on this Canon T6i, and it is this. Now, there are tons of reasons why I love this image. The first one being I'd never seen a sunset like this in my entire life. You have these purple, red, pink tones that are just coming out. So the moment itself was just kind of, you know, one of a kind for me when we were taking the pictures. Another fun fact about this picture was the subject, her name is Shay, I'd never met before. The fact that we were able to get this type of image with a subject that I had never met before on the same day was just crazy to me. There was just that instant, you know, chemistry when it came to shooting with somebody that sometimes you get, sometimes you don't. It's just another thing you'll experience when you're first taking photos. And I think this was a huge image for me in my development as a photographer. Because for, I would say, months afterwards, I would chase sunsets and I would chase locations to try and make an image just like this one again, and I would struggle to do it. But it made me realize that, you know, some of these images you take are just going to try and push you creatively to find better ways and new ways to create images that inspire you, just like, you know, this one did for me. All that to get around to the point where gear doesn't really matter when it comes to taking photos. I still have kept my Canon T6i. You can take high quality images with a camera like this, you know, crop sensor, 20 megapixel camera. All you really need is a nice lens. When I got this Sigma 30mm, it changed the game for me. I hope that this video will help you to just use what you have, and, you know, even if you are a beginner, just start taking images. We'll start to get better as you take the photos. So I know this is my first video concerning digital photography. I'm still going to be putting out majority of film photography related videos, but just know that I will pepper these within here every once in a while. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate when you do. As always, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.